Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take some fascinating sources and really pull out the key insights for you. Today, if you're someone maybe already working with spiritual protection, or perhaps you're just looking to, shore up your energetic boundaries a bit, well, we're diving deep into herbal protection spells, specifically how to make satchels and jars. Our mission really is to give you a shortcut, pulling the best stuff from our source on herbal protection spells so you can actually use this knowledge. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here right off the bat is just how deep these practices go. I mean, they're really rooted in the historical uses of plants. Herbs, they've been respected for ages, not just because they can heal the body, but because people believe they had these potent magical energies. And satchels and jars, they're just such accessible ways to tap into that energy. Very effective, too.
That's a great point, the accessibility. So for you listening, maybe you felt that need for some kind of energetic shield before. The natural question then is, well, why these methods? What are herbal protection spells actually supposed to do?
Okay, let's tackle the why. The source material makes it pretty clear these protection spells are often foundational, like a really crucial first step in a lot of practices. When we say energetic boundaries, you can sort of think of it like your personal space, but on an energy level. And these spells, they help strengthen that invisible shield, keep out unwanted emotional vibes or spiritual static.
And the benefits are quite specific, aren't they? It's not just a vague feeling.
Exactly. They're designed to shield you from negative energy, maybe harmful intentions someone might send your way. They can act as a defense against what people call psychic attacks or spiritual interference, which, doesn't have to be super dramatic. Sometimes it just feels like intrusive negative thoughts you can't shake, or just feeling drained for no reason. They can help buffer you from toxic environments too, or even help with bad dreams, restless sleep, and sometimes ward off unwanted influences or maybe attachments that might kind of glom onto your energy. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about creating a personal energetic boundary. You're taking the physical herbs and combining them with your focused intention. That's the real insight, I think. How these practices use our own ability to focus and believe. The act of making something isn't just symbolic. It anchors your intention in the physical world. Creates this feedback loop.
Right. It really sounds like a practical toolkit for navigating, well, the energetic currents of just daily life. So as you're hearing this, maybe start thinking about what kind of protection resonates most with you right now. Okay, so once you know why you want protection, the next big step is figuring out what to use. The herbs themselves, that's where it gets really interesting, discovering these natural allies. Our source says each herb has its own spirit and energy. Understanding that is key.
Mhm. And the source gives a fantastic list of the go-to protective herbs, like rosemary. It's got that strong, clean scent, used for ages in purification, really good for warding off negativity and clearing your head. Sage, of course, is a classic for banishing negativity, spiritual cleansing. You see that everywhere. Lavender brings a calmer kind of protection. It's lovely for sleep, psychic shielding, that sort of thing. Bay leaves are interesting protection, but also tied to wishes and clarity. Black pepper gives a bit of a kick, wards off hostile energy. Mugwort is often linked to protection during dreams or astral travel, if that's something you explore. Basil is nice because it combines love and protection, especially for the home space. Cinnamon offers this fast-acting, almost fiery protective shield. And then you have garlic or onion skin, really ancient traditional guardians against, evil or unwanted influences. The source does mention you can use fresh or dried herbs. Dried tend to be more practical for these jars and satchels, though, just because they last longer. Which brings up an important question. How does the specific energy of each plant really add to the overall protective effect? How do they work together?
That's a great question about synergy. Can you maybe elaborate a bit on how that layered protection actually works?
Sure. You can think of it like building a defense in layers. So maybe rosemary clears the space, purifies it, then lavender comes in to add calm and reinforce that psychic shield, and then maybe black pepper acts as like an active bouncer against hostility. So they don't just add up, they create this more complex, multifaceted shield. Each herb's unique vibe supports the others, makes the whole thing stronger.
It's amazing how nature provides these tools. As you're hearing about these, maybe you're already getting a sense, an intuition about which nature's guardians might be right for you. Okay, let's talk crafting. First up, the protection satchel. You might hear it called a mojo bag or a charm bag. Basically, it's a little pouch you carry with you or maybe place somewhere specific for more immediate portable protection.
Right. And to make one, the materials are pretty simple. You need a small cloth pouch. Black, white, or red are traditional colors for protection, but really go with what feels right. Your chosen herbs, obviously. And then you can add optional things, like a small crystal black tourmaline, obsidian, clear quartz are good choices. Or a sigil.
A sigil being like a personal symbol for your intention.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. A symbolic drawing you create that represents your specific goal. Or just a protective charm you like. You'll also need some string or cord to tie it shut. And the most crucial ingredient, your clear intention. The process itself is very intentional. First, you want to cleanse your materials smudging with sage, leaving them in moonlight using sound or even just saltwater works. Then really focus. Hold the materials. Think about the protection you need. Speak it out loud or just hold it strongly in your mind. That's setting your intention. Then you assemble the satchel. Add each herb, maybe saying its purpose as you put it in, visualizing your shield getting stronger. Once it's full, tie the pouch closed. Seal it. Then hold it maybe to your heart or just between your hands and really pour your energy into it, charging it up. After that, you can carry it, put it by your bed, hang it by the door, whatever feels right. And what's fascinating here, as the source points out, is how that act of making it really puts your personal power into the object. Oh, and remember to recharge it. Monthly is good, maybe around the full moon especially.
It really does seem like the hands-on creation is key, doesn't it? What is it about that tactile process, do you think, that makes these satchels feel so potent?
Well, that physical engagement, it anchors your focus, When you're physically placing each herb, feeling the pouch, consciously directing your intention, you're not just mixing things together, you're actively weaving your will, your energy into that object.
Yeah.
It becomes a real extension of your desire for protection.
That's a really nice way to put it, that connection. Okay, so satchels are great for carrying around for that immediate need. But what if you want something more stationary? Like a long-term guardian for your home or maybe your altar space? That's where spell jars come into play. These are basically sealed containers designed to be like long-term protectors.
Yeah, exactly. For a spell jar, you'll need a small glass jar with a lid. A little mason jar, even just a clean reused spice jar or something works fine. Again, your chosen herbs are central. And you can add other things here too. Salt is common for purification. Crystals work well in jars. Some people even add things like nails or pins for like extra sharp defense. You could include a written petition, just a small note with your intention. Or a sigil again. You also need candle wax to seal it up afterwards. And maybe a ribbon or a string to tie around it, perhaps label it. The process is similar in its focus on intention. First, cleanse the jar, cleanse your ingredients, ground yourself. Then start layering the ingredients. Add them one by one, maybe stating their purpose as you go. You could layer from grounding, things like salt at the bottom, up to more ethereal herbs like lavender on top. Definitely add a personal touch to that note. The sigil, a small charm. Maybe you write your name or just the word protection on a slip of paper and put it in. Then seal the spell. Put the lid on tightly, and then drip candle wax over the lid to seal it shut. Black, white, or red wax are often used for protection. After it's sealed, you charge the jar. Put it in sunlight or moonlight for a while, or meditate with it, pouring your protective energy into it. And placement. Near the front door is common, or on an altar, maybe a windowsill, anywhere that needs that steady protection. Some people bury them, but if you do, please wrap it in something biodegradable first. This does raise an interesting point, though. How does sealing the jar create that sustained protective field? Maybe compared to a satchel.
Yeah, that's a good distinction to make. How does that sealing action change the way it works compared to the more open satchel?
Well, sealing the jar literally locks in that concentrated intention and the combined energy of everything inside. It creates this sort of stable, long-term energetic anchor point for a specific area. Whereas a satchel is more portable, more dynamic, right? It's out in the world with you, so it might need recharging more often because it's interacting more. The jar's seal helps ensure that energy stays contained and continuously active right where you placed it.
That makes sense. It really highlights the different ways you can use these tools depending on the need. So, as you're thinking about these long-term guardians, maybe picture where in your own home or space you might want to place one. Okay, so whether you go for a satchel or a jar, the work doesn't necessarily stop there. There are ways to strengthen your spell, keep it effective. Our source really emphasizes that this is about consistent reinforcement. It's not always a one-and-done thing.
Absolutely. And the source gives some great tips for that, like timing. Doing your spell during a waning moon when the moon is shrinking is traditionally good for banishing, getting rid of unwanted stuff, while a new moon is great for starting something new, like setting up fresh protection. Using incantations can really boost things too, just speaking your intention clearly. The source gives a simple example. Herbs of earth, strong and wise, guard my soul and shield my skies. Something like that. Symbols are another layer. You can draw protective sigils or known symbols like a pentacle, the Eye of Horus, maybe some protective runes. right onto the pouch or jar. And, like we mentioned, reinforcement is key. Regularly recharging your spell, especially around the full moon, which is seen as a peak energy time, or just whenever you intuitively feel its power might be dipping a bit. If we connect this to the bigger picture again, these aren't just single actions, are they? They're more like ongoing conversations with your intention and the energies you're working with.
So for someone listening who really wants to make sure their protection stays strong and active, what's the core takeaway here from our source about keeping that shield up?
I think it really boils down to engagement and consistency. The message is that these are living practices. They're not like setting an alarm and forgetting about it. Your ongoing interaction, renewing your intention, dedicating time to recharge it, that's what keeps the protective energy vibrant and actually responsive to what you need day to day.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive today, it's pretty clear that herbal protection spells are this really powerful, very earth-connected way to look after your spirit and your energy. And making these satchels and jars, it seems really accessible, even if you're just starting out. Plus, it's deeply personal, totally customizable. So whether you're trying to shield yourself from, I don't know, difficult people, weird vibes, or just seeking a bit more peace, these plant allies seem ready to help.
Yeah, and the source puts it so nicely at the end. Take your time, listen to your intuition, and let your craft grow with your relationship to the plants around you.
What's fascinating there is that invitation, isn't it? To really connect with nature in a meaningful way, specifically for your own well-being and self-preservation. It reminds us that knowledge is best when you actually understand it and, apply it.
So as you consider these really practical ways to tap into nature's protective side, maybe think about this. How might cultivating a deeper relationship with the plants around you, not just for spells, but in general, how might that not only protect your energy, but actually enrich your whole world? We really hope this deep dive has given you not just information, but maybe some inspiration to explore these dimensions of personal well-being a bit further.